Hello and welcome to another episode of Wheel of Horror, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel once a week. It chooses the horror film and they discuss it. Today we're talking about 2009's Friday the 13th, the remake, which was directed by Marcus Nispel. I'm your co-host, Alec.
I'm Geppetto.
Geppetto.
I don't know. That's the only one that came to my head right away.
I definitely don't know Geppetto.
Just kidding. I'm Erik.
I know Giuseppe.
You know Giuseppe?
My landlord back in Bushwick, his name was Giuseppe.
I like that name. That's cool.
Yeah. But anyways, Erik, this is not a bad movie. This is a good one.
I think it gets a bad rep because it's one of the remakes that came out like earlier than the other ones. If you compare this to Nightmare on Elm Street, the remake, this is leaps and bounds better.
I don't think it came out early in the remake thing. I think it came out like right in the middle.
Yeah, that's what I mean, but I think that's probably why it gets a bad, and people don't like it. I freaking love this remake, dude.
Really? You love it?
I really do.
Wow. Okay.
The best way I can describe it, it checks so many boxes.
Yeah.
It gives us the initial group at the beginning. Check that box. It gives us the bag-faced Jason. Check that box. It gives us the hockey mask Jason. 80s vibes with like the Motorin song, Sister Christian. You got it bounces around.
Uh-huh.
It checks so many boxes. It's funny. It's like drug use, premarital sex. It's all the Friday the 13th you need.
I mean, dude, you're right. This movie got hate, and I think I was one of those haters back in the day. Like, I was like, this isn't that good. But now, I mean, dude, we've been so, starved for Friday the 13th content that, this is the last thing they've made. So we look back and we're like, not bad. It basically, what they described it as is they take the biggest beats from the first four of the original series and they kind of just crammed it into one movie. And I think they did a pretty good job.
Yeah, it a lot of thought went into this film.
I mean, it feels like it. I mean, it feels like the director was a fan, or at least the writers, or something like that. It doesn't feel like they're obsessed with it. Like, there wasn't, so many little I mean, maybe there were that I'm missing, but, I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's as good as a lot of the original series, but, I don't really know what else you would have wanted in a Friday the 13th reboot, you know? And it's so much easier to do this one than it is with the Nightmare on Elm Street one because Freddy is so iconic and Robert Englund is so that character. But Jason's kind of interchangeable, and there's been so many iterations of him. Obviously, people like Kane Hodder, and I'm sure they would have liked him to come back for this one, but the guy that played him in this was great. You know, he was really imposing, and it felt like a 2000s version of Jason because that's what zombies were doing. They were getting quicker. Jason felt more aggressive in this one than any of the other ones.
Yeah. Derek Mears did a great job portraying Jason. Obviously, Kane Hodder, come on, you can't go. He's Jason to me, but Derek Mears does a great job in this remake. Reimagining of Friday the 13th.
Yeah. They were kind of playing the greatest hits, it felt like. It was like a reunion tour of the greatest hits. But the guy, Derek Mears, that you were just talking about, who plays Jason in this, dude, the behind the scenes, everybody was obsessed with him. All they were doing was singing his praise, saying he was the nicest guy on set. I love it when I see stuff like that. You know, because you could have the murderer be a creepy guy that's I don't want to be near the cast. I want to freak him out when I see him. But apparently he was extremely friendly, always around the cast, and everybody was just raving about him. So good to hear.
Huh.
Yeah. But this movie, one of the reasons I really like it, but even before what you were talking about where we meet that initial group of kids in the woods, it shows the flashback of what happened at the end of the original one. So it kind of makes it feel like this could be a part of that universe still, you know? Because that all happened. You know, Mrs. Voorhees attacks the last camper at the end. She cuts the head off. You see little Jason come out, find her, take the mom's locket, and then go back to the house, and then who knows what happens for the next 20 years. It might be what happened in the original franchise, you know?
That's a great observation. Obviously, there's the head, too, of Mrs. Voorhees that we see throughout the film, too. And I think that's a cool guess. I mean, what would happen? The camp is shut down. There's no camp anymore, right? It's people buying property now by a lake.
So basically, I mean, if this was in the universe of the original one, the event in 1980 happened. Well, the event in 1954 happened where Jason died, or 58, when Jason dies. And then 59, Mrs. Voorhees goes on her killing rampage, and then the camp is shut down from 1959 to 1980. 1980, Mrs. Voorhees comes back, all of those camp counselors die, and then, you know...
Kills Kevin Bacon.
kills Kevin Bacon, and then from 1980 to 1989, there's like, whatever, 9 Friday the 13th, Friday the 13th movies. So it's kind of like people keep coming back. Friday the 13th Part 7, we get like more of like, oh, there's people that live at the lake. Friday the 13th Part
Jason
8
goes in the city for a bit.
Exactly. So that theoretically could have all happened, And then this takes place in modern times. This is what's happened after. So I was thinking, what if this is what happens right before Freddy versus Jason? What if this is... Because, dude, like, Jason dies at the end of this one, I think. And I'm like, what if Freddy was resurrecting him in Freddy versus Jason because he died here?
I think that's another great observation. So this is right before that, possibly.
In the timeline, right?
But don't forget, too, like, at the end of Freddy versus Jason is holding Freddy's head, and like Freddy winks. So it's like, maybe it's like, all right, guys, truce. Like, all right, you go back to Camp Crystal Lake, you go back to Nightmare Land, and we're good. And then it's after. So
yeah, that could be too. This could be after. But the only reason that makes me think this is before is because like his head gets like put into like a buzzsaw and it's like gets destroyed. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe he really did die there. And then Freddy resurrects him at the beginning of Freddy versus Jason to bring him back. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, and I want to say that the way Jason dies in this film, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Halloween Ends.
Oh, yeah.
So skip ahead 15 seconds, but very similar to that.
I mean, pretty much the same thing, almost,
But yeah, I forget what that's called. Yeah,
it's a wood chipper, isn't it?
No, that was like a metal grinder, dude, that he gets put in.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
That's like for scrap metal and shit. That thing does not play around.
Yeah, so both of them get like put into machines like that, and they're just their heads. I mean, Michael Myers gets fucking.
Which has been done before anyway. Yeah. But yeah.
Anyway, so back to the kind of the original thing. So I thought that was cool because we do get to see the Mrs. Voorhees thing, and then it leads into present day. So we're assuming 2009.
Yeah, 2009 for sure.
We meet a group of teenagers that are on a trip. Some of them, 2 of the dudes are looking for weed. They think there's like a spot in the middle of the woods that has weed that they could steal and sell. And the rest of the people are just there to have sex and drink and do what teenagers do. It's kind of cool, man. It's like 20 minutes of like a false start to the movie. Which I remember liking. First of all, did we see this together in theaters?
No, we watched it on DVD at your dad's house.
Okay, I definitely saw this in theaters. I thought I saw this with you, but
I don't think I saw it in theaters. I watched it with you at your dad's in your room.
Anyway, so the beginning of the movie, I did like the false start though. I did enjoy that.
Yeah, like there's a group of kids, but they're not our group of kids.
Yeah,
except the one girl eventually, which. It's a cool plot point.
It's a nice way to connect it, to be like, oh, so one of this group in the beginning survives, and it's a girl that looks like Mrs. Voorhees, which is taken from the original series, that plot point. But he keeps her locked up. And how long was it? Did it say 6 weeks or 6 months? I can't remember.
I think weeks or like a couple months.
Jesus Christ. So like, what does he want with her? Like Jason wouldn't do that to his own mother, so he clearly knows that's not his mom. So why is he doing this?
I mean, I think he just misses his mom, and she reminds him of her, I guess.
Okay.
Is the only way to say it.
All right. So here we are with a girl chained up under the camp, and Jason, because she looks like Mrs. Voorhees. So that's, for 6 weeks, that's what we're supposed to believe. And yeah. Then we get your boy from Supernatural.
Jared Padalecki or whatever. Yeah, he's good.
So he's like he's a motorcycle guy with long hair. He's coming to town.
Been in a good amount of horror. He was also in House of Wax and a few other horror films. Like he's bounced around for sure.
This was definitely that era where the CW was like, we gotta really push these guys into films, and they
listen. He has 2 years left of looking good. Like we need to get him in as much as possible.
Well, he just got fucked up, didn't he?
Wait, yes. What happened? He's okay though. Didn't he get in an accident or something, or what happened?
Yeah, he got like, god damn it. There's nothing on Wikipedia about it, but I feel like he got in like a really bad car wreck recently. Yeah. Anyways, it doesn't matter. It's not that important. But yeah, so he's in it. He's the brother that's looking for the girl that looks like Mrs. Voorhees, and he basically bumps into the sheriff, who's like, "Get on out of here. We don't need your kind here." Basically, and
your sister ran off.
Yeah.
Like, no, she didn't. Like, she didn't show up to my mom's funeral, and like.
Yeah, so this cop actually believes that all of these kids just like abandoned their families and just took off. That's really what they believe. So I had 2 10-year veterans. It's like that's not that, they're not that long. I mean, 10 years is a long time, but like, it's not like, I don't know. I thought it was gonna be like, I had a 45-year veteran on that case, but no. Anyways, so yeah, the cop thinks that she took off, but that kind of pulls away from our theory then that this takes place in the same universe, because that cop would be like, actually, there's been like 200 murders in this town over the last like 20 years.
It's like, stay away from that damn lake.
Yeah.
I wish they did that. I mean, I wish they kind of tied it back to the original, like, oh, people buying houses and real estate up. I don't know why he has a southern accent all of a sudden.
It's New Jersey, yeah.
Yeah, it's New Jersey.
They did kind of do that with that one lady with the dog. It's like, he kills, like he does.
Yeah. So that's like an old school 80s person right there. Like,
yeah.
Knowing.
So they had that little thing. But then we meet the group of kids that are like our group. And let's just go through these kids, because I don't know. I mean, they're disposable idiots, but I kind of like them. So we've got Bree, who's just like insanely attractive. I mean, I think that's her kind of character arc. You've got Jenna, classic final girl. She's in all the CW shows too. She looks like a young Winona Ryder, but she's a nice girl in this one. She's kind of like clearly going to be the final girl. Then you got our boy Trent, Travis Van Winkle. Probably when you think of a douchebag, this is what pops in your head.
Don't put your feet on my stepdad's pickup truck's dash. Like, what are you doing? This is leather.
He looked like a douche. He talked like a douche. He acted like a douche. I mean, you know.
And he's like the rich friend that everyone's just like, well, he has a boat. Like,
oh yeah,
let's go to That's all it was.
These kids were not friends in real life.
It's like Cartman, like a good looking Cartman, really.
Pretty much, but
with money.
His name is Travis Van Winkle, so you can already imagine what he looks like. But then there's Chelsea, who also is just really hot. I don't know, those two girls, they just kind of like show their boobs for most of the movie. They didn't really.
There's a lot of boobs. There's a lot of sex and nudity in this film.
Yeah.
Even at the beginning, like there's like 3 people having sex.
Yeah, I mean, there's that one girl in the tent, and they're trying to get laid. Yeah, there was that. Then you got these two funny guys. You got Chewie, and then you got Lawrence and Nolan, who is Ryan Hansen from Party Down. So he's funny.
Yeah, Party Down.
Yeah.
Are we having fun yet?
I love that show. But so we get those kids. So that's our core group of guys, and they're all just scumbags. You know, they're all just looking to get drunk.
Young douches just trying to get drunk and start a ruckus. We were that age too, Alec.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, hey, listen, a lot of stuff they were doing, I was like, yeah, we've done all that.
Yeah, I remember that. Chibawanga.
So they go to this, they go to Trent's house. Oh, also, kind of a fun fact. This actor, Travis Van Winkle, plays Trent. His name was Trent in the Transformers movies, too. And his name is Trent. And you're like...
It's a douchebag name.
No, but it's just like, are these movies related? Like, they're both kind of Michael Bay. Like, Michael Bay directed Transformers. He produced this.
Boom. Transformers is a part of Jason Voorhees' world.
It's like,
you've sold me.
This guy survived Transformers and then went to like this. It's like, man,
he's only in like the beginning, like dated Megan Fox, and then like he's not in the movie at all.
Right. So, but he's aware that Transformers exist, and he's like, and then he gets killed by Jason. It's like, man, this guy's life is kind
of imagine they did that line. It's like, I don't want to talk about Shia LaBeouf and Transformers anymore. Like they're gone. They're off our planet. I just want to go to my lake house. Imagine they like dropped a line like that. It's like Michael Bay.
Yeah, I mean, he would do that. His new movie Ambulance, pretty much. That's the whole movie. It's pretty much just that. It's just making references to his own movies. But, anyways, yeah. So you get this group of kids, and they go to get gas or whatever, and they pull up to. They meet up with Jared Padalecki or whatever, and that interaction is like cringe when the guy is asking to put up the posters of his sister or whatever, and he's like, hey buddy, you've been yapping up here quite a bit, like, buy something, or like, what's going on?
Just such a rude dick.
Oh, such a douchebag. And if young Winona Ryder wasn't there to like, stop him, like I feel like they really would have gone a fight. Anyway, so he rides off. I think young Winona Ryder's getting sick of Trent's bullshit, so
I mean, can I just say this? Like, she barely met this guy and then, like, goes into the woods, like, in a basement and stuff, trying to find his sister and whatnot. Right?
The line where she's like, do you want, like, company? He's like, I'd love some. That whole part, I was like, you don't know this guy. Like, yeah, he's attractive, but he could kill you. You don't know him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little out of left field for sure.
She's like, listen, my boyfriend's like a douchebag. So,
and she dies, right? She gets killed by Jason.
I gotta say, her death, I was not expecting it, and I kind of feel like she got shafted. She like did all the right things in this movie, and she got killed. Like, she didn't drink, she didn't do drugs, she didn't have sex. She helped the guy who was looking for her sister. She saves the sister, and then Jason's like, all right, well, fucking kill her. It's like,
yeah, there it is.
I felt bad for her. I was like, she kind of deserved better, I feel like. But that's a character. All the girls in this movie, they don't really have much going on except for her. Like, she's clearly, like, at least has a little bit of a character arc, I guess. Like, figures out her boyfriend sucks. I don't know, but
the other ones are just there to get like laid and drink and party.
Yeah, pretty much. And then like Chewie and Lawrence are just there as like comedic relief.
But a good group of teenagers, you know, like out of college, whatever kind of group. I liked Lawrence, but I hated his like one line about the rap song.
I know.
I was like, don't do this.
I know.
Don't do this.
I know.
That did not age well.
No,
that did not age well.
I rolled my eyes at that line so hard.
Oh
yeah,
I did back then, but I like my eyes hurt after this watching it again.
So dumb. But I think the thing that made me laugh the absolute hardest is when Ryan Hansen and Chelsea, they're on the boat or whatever, and he's just like, woo! And Elsa's like, it just hits him in the head.
That was my favorite scene in the movie. I thought that was so well shot, like when her head hits the boat too.
Oh, it felt so real.
They did a great job making it like her feel like she's concussed, and she's claustrophobic, and she's kind of drowning, and she's bleeding, and she's freaking out.
Yes, dude, I totally agree.
And her death was awesome too. Fucking loved it.
Yeah, her death is she goes under a dock, and Jason stabs a machete through her head, pulls her up, and then we get to see her boobs.
Like a fork, and it's like, oh, one last boob shot.
Yeah. You know, the alternative death. You want to know what that is for this kill? Which,
yeah.
Do you know what it is?
No.
It's actually sick, and I kind of wish they did this. So, apparently, he was going to shoot Nolan in the head or whatever, kill him, and then he was going to stand and wait for her to drown as she couldn't swim anymore.
I like this one with the stabbing.
Really?
You see boobs.
You see so many boobs in this movie. I think the idea of Jason standing there and like psychologically like waiting for her to not be able to like tread water anymore, and then like I thought that would have been a good idea.
So he's just like she can't go to the land because he's there. So
he's standing right there. Yeah,
that's cool.
And he's just watching her, and she's just like so she tries to get to land, and then he just fucking gets her. Like I think that would have been interesting to see, but
that's scary.
Yeah,
that's psychologically scary.
Right, and you have no idea. You don't know there's a killer at this point. You're just like, what the fuck is going on? But. Anyway, so that's kind of like the first indicator that like shit's really going down now. Jason's like, oh, these guys are at that house? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go kill them. So
needed more Ryan Hansen though. I like that actor a lot.
I do too.
I think he could have brought a lot more comedy to this movie.
I know. I was kind of bummed.
But his death was funny. He was like, woo,
woo. So I audibly laughed out loud at that. So they die. They're the first ones to die, and I love, dude, Trent. I'm sorry, man. If it was my dad's boat, I would never let somebody drive that. Like
he does. Doesn't he tell him not to drive the boat?
Oh yeah, he does. You're right.
And they're like, "Fuck it, like we're driving the boat."
You're
like,
right.
That's what happened. He's like, "Don't drive the boat. Like, just get my." What did he sent them there to get something though, right?
Yeah, I can't remember why they went. We're gonna let drive to the other side of the lake or something like that. And then you're right. Yeah, and then Trent, to make a point that he trusts his friends, gives them the car keys, and then he's like, "Don't drive the boat." Yeah, you're right. Okay, so yeah, it was their own fault. Then they got killed.
But you would be the Trent guy. You wouldn't let people drive your boat either.
I wouldn't let them drive my car. I'd be like, I'll drive you. Like, we'll all go. Like, I don't know.
We've been on Billy Bane's boat before, and he's like, "Yeah, you're not driving."
No.
Like, can I like pretend to steer the wheel? He's like, "No."
Don't even look at it. Just turn away.
Don't even imagine yourself driving a boat.
Yeah, and then Jason basically is like, okay, now they're at the house. I'm just gonna go pick them off one by one. And kills are pretty good in this movie. Like, pretty memorable for all of them.
Oh yeah.
So. Who dies first? It was.
I mean, obviously the slew of characters at the beginning was awesome. Like, the quick bunch of really good kills.
You get the sleeping bag on fire kill.
Ooh.
Dude, the bear trap.
That sucks.
Oh my god, dude, his leg. I was like cringing at the scene when his leg is like getting pulled by the bear trap. The other guy, I can't remember how Wade died. The guy who's like, I'm gonna go look for weed or whatever. Like, I can't remember how he died.
What does he do? He goes into the shed, right? Or that's Chewie. Who am I thinking? Wade. How did Wade die?
Wade's the guy in the beginning who's got the glasses, and he's just like he's listening to Sister Christian. He's like the first kill of the movie.
Oh, I think he just gets murked.
Okay,
like by the machete.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, did we even talk about the white trash scummy guy who has sex with mannequins?
Oh yeah, we can't forget that guy. What did he name the mannequin?
I can't remember. Lucille maybe or something. Yeah, Lucille, I think. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, so that's he like is growing weed and like tells the Jared.
Well, he found that patch.
Yeah, he's the one that. Yeah, exactly. He found the weed that they were looking for.
After the kids were already killed, he found the patch. He's like, I found all this weed and like.
Right, he didn't find their bodies though. So yeah, but Yeah, so that's some man's land, and that guy just works there or whatever, and he tells Jared Plecki, like, don't, you gotta get out of here or whatever, unless you want to buy some weed. I don't know why he's Southern, but, so anyways, Jason finds him, kills him, finds the mask. So he finds his hockey mask in this movie, the first one.
But foreshadowing the place where Jason eventually dies.
Yeah, exactly.
With the machine and stuff, so yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's in that barn, yeah. So then Jason goes back to the house, and Chewie goes out to the garage. Oh, but before that, too, Trent and Bree.
Stupendous scene. That, I think I laughed so hard when I first saw it. I knew it was, that's like one of the things I remembered from this movie.
Yeah, let's just walk through that chain of events. So, young Winona Ryder leaves with Jared Plecki, and they drive off together, and then for some reason, Trent is like, well, I guess I'm allowed to cheat on my girlfriend now. And for some reason, this Bree girl, who's supposed to be friends with all these people, she's like, yeah, let's, like, actively cheat right now on your girlfriend. And then when she gets back, like, this will just be the most awkward thing in the world. Like let's say Jason wasn't there. You know, like
just a toxic group of friends.
Horrible.
Just toxic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have sex like for a long time, and it's awkward, but it's she's got a great body.
It's a funny scene. Yeah. Wow.
Like, good God.
Stupendous for sure.
Holy crap. Anyway, so as they're having sex, Jared Plecki and young Winona Ryder, they come back into the house, and they're just like, Jason's here. There's just a killer out there. While they're telling him Chewie is out there just getting fucked. Like he
Yeah, he didn't deserve that death. He's just there doing drugs and trying to have fun.
Yeah.
He got one of the worst kills too.
Dude, I mean, he's getting trashed. He's just pounding. I don't know if it was scotch or like whatever he found in the garage.
And plus he has that bong, which the bong might be named Lucille.
Oh, I think that's it. Yeah. I can't remember what the mannequin.
I saw you with a bull.
Yeah.
A bull.
That was funny. I like that. So basically Chewie, the way he dies is Jason like goes out to the garage with him and just takes like, was it a screwdriver and stabs it through his throat?
Yeah, I'd rather get like the arrow to my head and die quickly than that shit. That sucks.
He like stabbed it like through his mouth, like the bottom of his like chin up through his head. Yeah, that's pretty fucking bad. So after that, everybody's on high alert, and Lawrence goes out and he's like, I'll go find Chewie or whatever. Finds Jason, gets in like a fist fight with him in the garage for a second, you know.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Hits him with the hockey stick and stuff, and then just runs out and gets an axe.
Ooh, like paralyzed, yeah.
Oh yeah, the axe looked like it went right into his spine. So you're like, that guy's never doing anything ever again. Like, if he survives this, which he definitely won't, and he doesn't, but yeah, he gets horrible. So he's out there crying for them. They call the cops, though. So Jason hadn't cut the electricity and all that stuff, so they do manage to call the cops. Lawrence is out there bleeding to death with an axe in his back, and they're like, he's using your friend as bait. And Trent's like, get the fuck out of my house. Like, who are you?
By the way, that cop call, when he calls the cop, is like one of the worst calls in the history. It was just like, hi, I need someone to be sent to this house, blah, blah, blah. Oh, we got a killer here. Hangs up. It's like, that's not how 911 conversations go.
Yeah, I
don't
remember.
911, what's your emergency? Hi, yes, there's a killer outside our house. Like, it's a longer thing. It was like literally like, hi, I got a killer outside my house. Address is blah, blah, blah. You be here quick. Hang up. It's like, they're not going to show up to that.
Jason should have cut the power like right then, as they were like mid-conversation or something. Like, that would have been good. But yeah, he like hangs up on her. You're right. Yeah. So the cops are coming. Lawrence is bleeding out, and then Jason's like, all right, I guess they're not gonna come out, so I'll just go kill Lawrence. Kills him, and Trent goes to get a gun. So he goes and gets the gun. It's Bree, Trent, young Winona Ryder, and Jared Plecki. They're the only ones alive now. So then Jason just comes into the house and kills Bree. Just stabs her into like an antler or whatever. So she's dead. We're like, okay. Here's the thing, though, dude. Trent shoots the door because he thinks...
I love this scene. I love this scene so much. First of all, he's the last person in the house that should have that gun. He is so not trained with a weapon.
No.
And he's way too trigger happy, which, like you were just going to say, shoots through the door, opens the door, sees Bree dead, has no clue that she was originally killed by Jason. So he thinks... He kills her. So what does he think about? Like, oh, my dad's gonna be pissed.
Right.
And like closes the door pretty much.
He's like, she's fucking dead. And then like it's like he immediately like throws the blame away from himself. You're like, oh, you're a real piece of shit.
You're gonna go to therapy for years talking about this one. I was like,
Well, he got destroyed, so it's good.
yeah,
I mean, Jesus, I wish he got even more fucked up because, like,
yeah. That's the thing. Like a character like that, it's like okay, a lot of these decent people get killed pretty badly. He should have been like ripped arms and shit, and like I don't know,
I mean,
crazy,
it's pretty bad what
crazy.
happens to him. So, I mean, it's basically the next scene is like they all run outside and they take off into the woods. He loses the gun, he drops it. He's like, "Where's the fucking gun?" He's like screaming and stuff, and you're like, "Dude, just run." But he finds a road and he sees this pickup truck that comes, and it's like the most ominous pickup truck ever. And you're like, this better not be Jason. Like, if he's driving now, like, I'm gonna be pretty mad. It's not some old guy. And right as he starts to walk up, Jason just comes and just stabs him with the machete, takes the machete out, and then stabs him into like the back of the truck, which I think is like a tow truck. So like impales him on that, and then he drives away. And that was all that happened to him.
Wanted more from that for sure.
Yeah, I know. Like twist his head off or something. I don't know. Do something. Rip his dick off. I don't know. Like,
Rip his dick off.
His dick off.
Be something.
I don't know. Do something. So then at this point, it's just Jenna and Jared Plecki running around. They find the camp again. They're like, I guess we'll go here. This will be safe. But no, but they do have to. They have to find the sister though. So they think she's alive because they found that trap or whatever, that little like ringing bell thing. So they're like, maybe this is like a. There's a base or something here. So then they do find it, and they find the sister. With the sister must just be like, "Oh my god, you found me! Like, holy crap!"
Yeah, I know. It's like, get out. We got to get the fuck out of here.
This guy is a psycho.
You have no idea.
You're like, oh my god. So yeah, she starts telling him, "It's like, we don't have time for this. We gotta go." It's like, no, like seriously, he makes me drink my own pee. It's like, no, we gotta go. So they leave. Winona Ryder, Jared Plecki, and Whitney, the sister, they all get out of there. But again, as we talked about earlier, it's like young Winona Ryder just gets destroyed.
Yeah, unexpectedly.
Just stabbed through the back, and you're so sad, and you're like, damn. And Jared Plecki's like, no, that was like going to be my girlfriend. He's like really upset.
Oh, we've been through so much. Like, god damn it. Like...
I met you 6 hours ago. Fuck. So they leave. So now it's just Whitney and Jared Plecki running from Jason. They fight with him a bunch in the barn. Jared Plecki's face gets as close as it can to like that wood chipper or whatever that thing is, and you're like, oh shit. But then the sister does the same thing from part 2, where she's just like, Jason, like mommy's here or whatever, and you're just like, god damn it. And then a very cheesy death line for Jason, where she's like, say hello to mommy in hell. Dumb. Like, yeah. Dumb. Anyways, it's a good Friday the 13th movie though. It is.
Yeah, it's like I said, it checks a ton of boxes. Wishing a couple things were better. I mean, we've mentioned like we wanted Trent's death to be crazier. Yeah. The last line of the film, like, you gotta come up with a better line to kill Jason. Maybe a better way to kill Jason too. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we have so many nods to the past movies. Even the mask going to the bottom of the lake and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like those are classic shots.
Okay, so the final shot though, I think that's a dream.
Possibly
because. You're going to tell me that after they did all of this, they're not like, let's get the fuck out of here. They're like, you know what we should do? We should put his body in the lake. So they drag his body from the barn all the way to the lake and then put his body in there and then put the thing, and she's sitting there like crying. You're like, do you want to like go to Denny's? Like, do you want to get out of here? And she's just like, no, like we should give him a proper burial.
We need to report all these deaths to the police and also keep the body of the killer.
But you'd think, get out of there. Like, let's not put his body in the lake. Like, why is that the first thing you're thinking of? So I think that's a dream.
You want to go to Denny's? Oh my god.
Dude, I'm sitting there like, you must be starving.
Like, she hasn't eaten.
She's like, you've been eating rat carcasses and piss for the past 6 weeks.
I can't imagine Jason going to the grocery store and picking out good food. He's probably picking out like berries and shit from Camp Crystal Lake.
He's like, you want some Jersey pork roll? So I think that's a dream. I really do think that's a dream. Anyways, so the movie ends basically the same as like almost all of them, where they're just like standing at the lake, and then all of a sudden Jason busts out, grabs them, and then the trailer or the credits roll. And that's the last time we see Jason on the big screen. Obama was president.
Wild. Wild.
Eastbound and Down first season just aired. It was a different time.
2009. Yeah. Different time. Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think this is one of the better remakes of the 80s horror films. I think it's better than the Texas Chainsaw one. I like it more than the Halloween Rob Zombie one. I like it way more than Nightmare on Elm Street one.
Yeah, and it's not really a remake as much as it's a re-envisioning, because this isn't a camp. This isn't counselors and stuff, right?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, there is no camp, yeah.
it is a cool way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's different. Checks all the boxes we've seen. There is another Jason content coming out, I think this October. I don't know if you heard about it. Crystal Lake or whatever on Peacock.
I think it's A24's doing it too.
I'll give it a shot. We miss Jason. We need more Jason. Everyone loves him.
Well, with this writer strike, I don't think that's going to be happening for a while.
I mean, unless it was already written.
SAG's on strike, and they can't.
Oh, shit.
With SAG on strike, they can't. There's no actors. So it's, yeah, dude, seriously, so many shows. Like, it's going to be crazy.
Movies and shows, yeah. Enjoyed Barbie and Oppenheimer while we got it, because that's about it for now.
Seriously. It's going to be interesting when shows come back. Like, the Game of Thrones show, like, the woman's going to be, like, 50 by the time season 2 airs, you know? But anyway, so it's a good movie. I really think if you like Friday the 13th, I think you'll enjoy this one. You know, it's not going to replace the originals, but it's not like a new Star Wars movie where you're like, this makes me like mad. Like it's good. You know, it's a good.
Well, that's not. I'm
sorry. Yeah, I should have brought that up. Anyways, Eric, you know, last minute thoughts on Friday the 13th?
Yeah, Keanu scale 1 through 5. I give it a nice 3.98. Really close to 4.
3.98.
Yeah, I mean, I don't give out a lot of 5s. I don't give out a lot of 4s. I think it did very well.
I go 3.7. I think it's good. Okay. I think there's other Friday the 13th that are better, but I think for a remake and for considering we hadn't seen Jason in 6 years and we haven't seen him since, I think it's good.
Also, it's a good time capsule of like what like being a teenager was like in 2009, kind of.
Very good.
In some ways, it felt like a time capsule. Like, oh my god, you can't say this anymore.
Well, no, yeah, you're right. The banter was kind of like reflective of the times.
They dropped the R word once too, right?
I don't know.
Was that in this? I don't
know, but they, I liked it. I think it's good, and it does. It reminds me of like when we were that age, because I mean we were 19 when this movie came out, and I think these guys are like 29 or 28. They're older, but still.
Yeah, but like they're playing like 22-year-olds.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, why don't you spin the old wheel there, Eric?
Pull it up. Right, all right is right. Spinning. Just gonna do the one next to it. I still know what you did last summer.
Okay, cool. So another slasher, and we do have Joe Testa coming back for this one, which I'm sure he saw in theaters, and he can tell us how people reacted to Jack Black's hair in theaters. So,
oh my god, I forgot Jack Black's dreadlocks.
All right, well, everybody, thank you very much for listening into our discussion on Friday the 13th, the 2009 remake. If you haven't had a chance, you can go back and listen to the episode we did last week, which was Legend, which was really fun. So, yeah, and we'll see you all next week with I Still Know What You Did Last Summer.